Hey guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. In this video, I'm gonna be showing you how to prep everything before you can paint an entire house. Please stay tuned and continue watching until the end so you won't miss out on any details of how you can do this kind of work as well. The first thing that we're doing is removing this trim piece that is directly on top of the fascia board on the peak of the house. And the way how to do that is you just want to carefully use a small crowbar, get in between the fascia and that trim piece. You can also hit it with a hammer to wedge in the crowbar, and then you just want to pull it up so you can loosen up all the nails. Once you have that little trim kind of loose, you can take it out. And the reason why we're doing this is we want to get behind that area in that corner, so we can basically sand down all of the fascia board and get a really nice professional finish. So once we paint everything, we can get in that area as well. And then afterwards, the owner, he's gonna have the roof replaced. And if needed, they're gonna replace that trim section with the metal flashing, and then they'll take care of that afterwards. But today, we're mostly focusing on this. And all of this kind of work is what you need to do if you want to get some professional results in your final painting. So that's why we're doing this kind of work right now, carefully removing all of this trim. And then after we take that out, we're going to use a hand scraper and also one of those cordless DeWalt sanders so we can sand down all of the fascia board to remove any loose paint. And just so the finish, the surface is nice and smooth. So that's what we're doing right here. It's just going back and forth on the face, on the bottom, just to kind of, take out all that loose paint and just making sure the surface is nice and smooth. So that way when we go to paint this area, it's gonna be like really nice and sealed up. So one thing that it's also good to do is when you remove all of the wood and sand it down, if you have any bare wood, that's a good time to, apply some primer to that before you paint the whole house, so it will just seal everything up. And the paint and the material that we're using in this project is from Sherwin-Williams. The caulking that we're going to be applying that you'll see here in a little bit, we're using the 9506A caulking, which is super high quality and it's very easy to work with. So that's the one that we prefer to apply caulking. Right over here below the soffit area, we're installing a very small piece of trim. And the reason why we're doing that is there is a gap where the siding meets that soffit. So the best way to cover up that gap is you just want to use a small piece of wood. I was able to find this at the Home Depot. It's about 3/4 inches by 1 inch, so it's a pretty small wood. And all you got to do is secure it with a finish nailer, and then afterwards you can caulk both sides, the top and the bottom, so everything is nice and sealed up. So that's the best way how you can close up a gap that you see along the soffit or on the corner of the house. It will basically seal up that gap and it will look really nice and professional. Then afterwards, we're sanding the soffit underneath. And the reason why we're doing that is because the soffit, the trim, it has this rough texture. So we're just basically sanding the whole board surface, taking out that rough texture, and then afterwards we're just making sure that it has a smooth finish. In order to do that, we're just using two types of sandpaper. We're using the 80 or the 60 grit. That will help you to remove all of the rough, the coarse, and then so 60 or 80 coarse grit. And then after you do that, to remove all the rough texture, then you just want to go once again with a fine sandpaper. And for that, you can use like a 100 or a 150. So those are the two sandpaper grits that we're using to remove all of the texture, and then just to kind of give it that nice smooth finish on the top. So all in all, we have 3 guys working today. 1 guy is helping us to finish all the details, any of the siding, like around this electrical box and area, also any of the siding corners, the trim, anything that's needed before we can sand. That is what one of our guys is taking care of. Then the other 2 guys are focusing on sanding down all of the trim around the doors, the entry, the windows,